Hi, I'm Bob Trask. This is our weekly reset. Today we're going to talk about how to create your future, how to create my future, how we can create our futures. I know that's pretty important, although we ignore that and we ignore it because it seems a little threatening. Like I've tried a lot of times, you might say, to create a certain future and it didn't work out. And no matter how much I tried, I didn't work out. And I guess it just wasn't in me. And so I've pretty much agreed to just be where I am and who I am and do what I do and let that be it. Well, if that's it, then the question is, why are we even here? What are we doing here on the planet if that's it? You're sitting in a candy apple red Maserati convertible. My God. And you're just sitting, you're not going somewhere. You say, well, yeah, but I tried to go, but the way was blocked. The way was blocked. What does that mean exactly? What does that mean? Does it look like this? Hang on a minute. Does it look like this? Is that what it looks like? You're on this path and all of a sudden you just can't go any further. But the path does go beyond there. The question isn't whether or not it's blocked. The question is, what do you do to get past the blockage? And I can promise you that the blockage is not on the path. The blockage is in your mind, is in my mind. Keeps us from going where we want to go. And there are places you want to go. There are things you want to do. There's things you want to be. Surely there's things you want to have. But you might say, well, but I don't, that's all not that important. I think that what I need to do is follow Ram Dass's book, Be Here Now, and just be in this position. And Eckhart Tolle wrote another one, The Power of Now. So now, let me just be in now. But you got to be careful about being in now, truly being in now, because now is a powerful, vibrant place. It's not a place of just no, 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 no. No, it's a place where things are going on in now. And what I'm doing in now is I'm creating my reality. And my reality becomes the future. So if I'm in now, but now is a powerful place of vibrancy and wisdom and joy, then what happens is that I create from that a vibrant, powerful, joyful future. Okay, so all seems a little philosophical, doesn't it? A little bit philosophical. So a little philosophical. So what does that actually mean? If an honest to goodness genie came into your life, just appeared, one of those great, powerful guys, and he said, you have 3 minutes, three minutes to name your most treasured desire, and it'll be yours. So now you got to think about that for a minute. So my most treasured desire, and are you thinking about this right now as I'm talking? Your most treasured desire. So my most treasured desire, was it to have something? Or is it to be able to do something like travel the world? Or is it to be something like to be famous or be a movie star or be a famous author? Is it a be or a do or a have? Or is it all of those? Now the question then becomes, how come that hasn't already happened? How come I'm on the trail and it hasn't already happened? That log jam that you saw a minute ago across the trail, that's not across the trail. That's across your mind. That's what's keeping you from getting your goal. And it's across my mind. It's what keeps me from getting my goal. That log jam is a result of a lifetime of living in unworthiness. I don't want to go into a big, confusing self-accusation or me accusing you of being unworthy. Just face this fact. If you have everything right now that you're worthy of, everything that you deserve. Right now, you have all of it. To go to the next level, you have to be willing to go to the next level of self-worth. Our self-identities, because we operate from there, right? We operate from our self-identities. So our self-identities, my dear friends, our self-identities are not something that was implanted on us, like we fell out of the sky and some great God said, this is who you are. This is who you shall remain for the rest of your life. If that was true, then why even be here? Why even be here? And if we're not moving forward along a path of enlightenment, then what's the purpose of life? Why even be here? But all of your life, all of my life, in the society we live in the religions that we live in the parentage that we live in the school systems that we live in, all of our lives, we're taught about who we're not who we are, who who we should try to become more of, do more, get a better grade when you're a kid, better get a better grade. Like you come home with a B and your parents look at that and say, B, that's good, but that's not who you are. You're an A student. I don't want to see a B again. So you're constantly being told about who you're not and what you're not doing well. And so you come to this ripe place now where you're on the trail and you're looking at a log jam and you're saying, how do I get rid of this log jam? Melt it in your mind. Melt it in your mind. There is no thing that you can think of to do or to be or to have that is not available to you. Nothing. I don't care what it is. It's available to you. Are you available for it? Our talk today on how to create your future isn't projecting into the future and saying, somewhere, someday, somehow, I want to create this thing. What we're saying is the future is either right now or it doesn't exist. Because in truth, chronologically speaking, the future doesn't exist. Does it? Doesn't exist. It's just an idea. I mean, it doesn't exist. What will exist when that future becomes the now? What will exist depends on me now, on where I am now. Our self-identities need to be transformed. But it's really hard because we think that's who we are. And when I say transform your self-identity, change your self-identity, change your ego saying, oh, hold on a minute, hold on. We're not changing our identity. Thank you very much. We know who we are and we're fine with that, just like it is. Don't come busting into our lives and start telling us that we need to change or transform. We're doing just fine. Good on you. Good on you. But that's not who you are. That's not who you are. You're in this magnificent vehicle, incredible vehicle of body and mind. And you're moving through life. And that body and mind are determined and destined and designed to accomplish miracles. To accomplish miracles. And your future, yet unwritten, is going to be a miracle, and you're going to create it. And you're going to create it. And when tomorrow comes, if tomorrow happens to be the same as today, you created it. If there's nothing there, keep in mind there's nothing there. And what's going to create it? What's going to bring it into being? I am going to bring it into being with our minds, with our determination. with our spiritual, metaphysical, heart-based energy and power, and with our imaginations. Because that future that we want, we have to first imagine it. Now, the genie says you got 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes are almost up. So what do you want to do, be, and have? And you're saying to yourself, I don't know. I don't know. And the genie says, well, listen, I'm going to take off for a while and I'll be back. And when I come back, get this straightened out in your mind, would you? What do you want to do, be, and have? I'll give you another 3 minutes when I get back. Now you got some work to do. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to have? Oh my gosh, what? How do I figure that out? How do I come up with an answer to that? Simply do this. Follow your bliss. That's Joseph Campbell. Thank you, Joseph. Follow your bliss. Stop doing have to stuff. I must go to this. I must go here. I should go there. I ought to go there. If only I could go there. Forget about all of that. Just follow your heart. Trust that that's your guidance. Trust that this universal consciousness is alive and well, and it's speaking to you through your heart, calling to you to move forward. And it wants you to move along that path that I showed you along the forest. It wants you to move along that path, but as it calls to you, what it's calling to you and saying, I want you to unfold yourself. I want you to unfold yourself as completely as possible so that in this lifetime you can have all of the experiences, express them with art and music and dance and conversation, and grow in wisdom and joy. Grow, expand your identity constantly, constantly, constantly. Expand your identity, expand it into areas that are unknown to you now. Because if they're known to you now and you try to expand them, all you're doing is just replicating the same old deal. Go beyond. Go where no one's ever gone before. Dare to dream the impossible dream. You have within you not only the ability to do that, but you are assigned to do that. You came here with that purpose, to unfold your unique, marvelous self into this universe. And you can do that. You can do that. Our egos are really vitally important parts of our structure, and they contain all of our opinions and all of our beliefs and all of our memories, and they're good only and that they keep us from doing something totally foolish, like stepping in front of a Greyhound bus or free diving with a white shark. Just pay attention to your ego to the degree that it needs to be paid attention to. But then let go of our sense of security, that sense of security in who we think we are. That's not who we are. We are becoming. We're not a thing, we're not a person, we're not a place. We're becoming. What are we becoming? Just becoming. Progressive architect Charles Dubois said the important thing is this: to be able at any moment of life to sacrifice what we are for what we could become. To sacrifice what we are for what we could become. So if you say you want a bed and breakfast somewhere on the coast, but now we have to admit that we're not just going to get a bed and breakfast. If we get that, like if I see in my mind a bed and breakfast on the coast in a beautiful settings, gorgeous old antiques, wonderful breakfast, great kitchen, I see the whole thing. It's perfect. I see it. If that dream becomes real for me, I must have changed. Because the bed and breakfast is there. It's available. Everything you can imagine is available. But I have to change. I have to change my ego structure. I have to change my identity. I have to expand my identity such that I can be the owner and the operator of this splendid bed and breakfast place. What will I feel like when I get there? Will I be tired? Will I be worn out? Will I be say, oh my God, this is so much work. I had no idea it was going to be so much work. I'm so tired. I think I have to put this place up for sale. You know, that I hear that. I hear that. And do you know why I hear that? Because that person got the structure, but they didn't get the meaning, the cause, and the truth of the structure. They got the bed and breakfast building, but they didn't get themselves. It's like going to buy a box of shoes and you come home and you have the box, but no shoes. You have the box the shoes came in. That's the bed and breakfast that you didn't get yourself into that as the owner of the bed and breakfast. I don't care what the dream is. It may not be a bed and breakfast. Could be a magnificent relationship. Could be the publication of a great book. It could be a song that you're singing or writing. Could be anything. Could be traveling around the world. Could be 2 weeks in Provence, south of France. It could be anything. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is, that vision was planted inside of you to pull you along the path. And if you think of that log jam for a minute, if you come to that log jam and you sit down and make a campfire and say, well, I guess this is as far as I go, it's because you didn't want that path. You didn't want to get there anyway. What you wanted is to be here. You wanted to just hang out. But you're not in a parking lot. Your life isn't in a parking lot. This is not a campground where you've stopped. This is a path. And the path is calling you. And dare I say this? I'm going to dare. There is no goal. Your goal doesn't exist. Gosh, why did you say that? Because it's true. Because when you get that bed and breakfast, it'll be wonderful and you'll love it and you'll feel like $1,000,000 being in that bed and breakfast. And within a year, you'll start dreaming of something bigger, more, because we're on a path. We never come to a place of, well, that's it, I'm done. If that's it, that's done, then step off the planet and make room for more people. Because you don't need to be here if you're not part of the evolution of life. So dare to dream. And you don't have to do a big thing. You don't have to, doesn't have to be a bed and breakfast. It can be anything. It can be a new cake recipe. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be huge, but it has to be beyond where you are now. And you have to be worthy enough to be in that situation as the owner and operator of that bed and breakfast. So if we're gonna create something new in our lives, we have to first commit to personal change, to personal growth. I'm going to say that again because I think it'll go right past a lot of minds. If we're going to create something new in our lives, we must first commit to personal change. We must ask, what change must I now make in who I am to have what I want? Because I can't have that and be here in this situation. I can't, otherwise I'd already have it. You had dreams before, you had visions before, and you're living right now in the result of those visions and dreams. You created, when you look around the room you're in, you created this. You created it, your life. You created everything that's here. Is that it? Is that all there is? It isn't. We are not here to sit on our butts on a couch and drink cold beer and just say, let life go by. We're here to be in the river, going with the river. We've got to be down on the field where the ball is, not in the bleachers. If we answer the genie before changing our ego identities, our goals, our fantasies, and when they arrive, they're meaningless. But you have to have courage to change your ego. You have to have courage to take these risks. I know that. I know how much courage it takes. And I was once quoted, and I believe hopefully I was correctly quoted. I was once quoted in saying, "Courage is the power to let go of who I believe I am and allow who I am to fully awaken." Courage is courage. Courage, bravery, courage is the power to let go of who I believe I am. That takes courage to let go of who I believe I am and allow who I really am to fully awaken. So I've been in this business for a very long time, and I'm as clear as I can be that we either get our futures or we get our excuses. And there are billions of excuses. They didn't like me. They sabotaged me. I didn't have the money. They wanted somebody with more education. I ran out of gas. I ran out of energy. Just something. And incidentally, if that last one was yours, you ran out of energy, I can tell you that you were using all of your energy to get to the goal. But the goal's not out there. And you can't get from here to there. You can't. You're fighting to get from here to there, but there has to be here. You can't get from here to there. You have to bring there to here. You have to bring the mountain to Muhammad. And the only way you bring the vision to here is that you become totally worthy of it. Completely, totally, unconditionally worthy of it. And then you manifest it through your imagination, through imagining. And as you imagine, allow yourself to be in delight. Gosh, that's going to be so great. I feel it. I can feel it inside of me. Here I am in the bed and breakfast, and it's morning, and I'm going down these beautiful stairwell down into the kitchen to fix this wonderful breakfast for these people that are staying here. And I was so glad to meet them when they came in yesterday afternoon. Gosh, they are just wonderful people. And my life is so full because I keep getting to meet people, wonderful people, and be with them and talk to them and learn from them and then feed them a great breakfast. Oh, it's God. And I'm making money at doing that. What a great life this is. You've got to You've got to be there in your mind before that bed and breakfast appears. Otherwise, it'll never appear. And if it does, it's going to be a hollow goal. So, what if I went into a really great restaurant? I've been here before. I've eaten lots of things off the menu. And I sat down, and Jake, the waiter, comes over and says, "Hey, Bob, this is good to see you. What are you going to have today?" And I said, "Jake, here's what I want you to do. I want you to fix me something. I want you to use your imagination. Tell the cook, Bob's here, fix him something that you think he'll like." Jake said, "We don't do that. We've never done that before. We have a menu. You have to order off the menu." I'm not ordering off the menu, Jake. Just go tell the cook to fix me something. Use his intuition. Just fix me something. Well, he might not do that because people like to be structured. See, what would happen is that Jake and the cook would have to move out of their present identity crises in order to imagine something beyond that. But I think they'll probably do that. And when it comes, I don't know if it's going to be the greatest meal in the world, but it'll be different. It'll be outside of the menu. Let's dare to order outside of the menu in our future. Let's dare to go outside of the menu. If I went out today on the street and I asked 10 people, "Where's your life headed? Where is your life headed?" Hello, excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, please. Where is your life headed? Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you this question? Where is your life headed? Youngster, young man, can I ask you a question? Where is your life headed? I'd be willing to bet that most of them, the vast majority of them, would say they don't know. And if they did, they'd say, I don't think I have any control over it. See, these people are not in charge of their lives. They're rolling the dice. I don't want to start rolling the dice. I don't want you to roll the dice. Political political columnist Jim Hightower said the opposite of courage is not cowardice. That's something to think about. The opposite of courage is not cowardice. He said, it is conformity. The opposite of courage is conformity. Even a dead fish can go with the flow. Even a dead fish can go with the flow. So there's two things. One, be here now, yes. Be focused on now, yes. Accept now as it is. Accept it, yes. Accept the pain, accept all of the constructs. Look carefully at that and say, in order for me to have a new reality, what of this is dragging me back? What attitudes, what thoughts, which one of these is in my way? And get rid of that. Do your affirmations, do your imagination, do your forgiveness process. Get rid of that so that those parts of you will reawaken until you're fully awake. Please, please, let's agree on this one thing. You have created the life you now have. And it took a genius imagination to get here. But again, this isn't a parking lot. It's simply a place to rest while we form our next step. Because we're spiritual journeyers on the way to total fulfillment. And we're not here by chance. We didn't fall out of the sky. We're not the results of our parents making love. If you think that's who you are, that's not who you are. That's who our bodies are, but it's not who we are. We're consciousness. We're this vast universe with all of its planets and stars, and beyond that, we're incarnations of the great isness, the great consciousness. And when we choose to get out of the parking lot, get an exciting destination, and then fire up our hearts and minds and change who we are, and then decide what our futures will be. And let our futures and the aspect of our futures delight us and fulfill our hearts. Author Charles Swindoll said, we are all faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as impossible solutions. Van Gogh was raised in a strict Dutch tradition, but he was decidedly individual and a little too unpredictable, and his imaginative style was simply unacceptable. But that wasn't his identity. He didn't get stuck there. Did you know that he only sold one painting in his entire life? And that was to his brother. And so the pressure to conform was great, but he trusted the voice awakening within him. He had trusted his imagination, and he changed the art world forever. We didn't come here, my friend, to be popular. We didn't come here for people to like us. No one who's ever lived or ever will live is who we are or who has our potential. So let's get out of our parking lots and let's go forward into a life of blissful fulfillment by being, doing, and having our fullest lives. I want to say finally, one of the most amazing athletes I think that ever lived and motivational speaker, David Goggins, said, if you want to be one of the few to defy those trends in our ever softening society, you'll have to be willing to go to war with yourself and create a whole new identity. Create a whole new identity, which he said requires an open mind. So I'll go forward this week looking at what I want and looking at myself and that which is in me that's keeping me have what I want. And it's that's my goal, is to change those things that are holding me back and create an identity of a beautiful child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, who deserves to be here and who has the great imagination of pure consciousness flowing through me. So that while I'm here, let me not be in the bleachers. Let me be down on the field, chasing the ball, with you at my side. With you at my side, dear friend. Thanks for being with me today. Please stop by bobtrask.com, if you will, please, and leave a donation. And invite other people, invite your friends to come and join us in this um, weekly reset. Thank you. Go with my love.